You've been asking for something and nothing seems to change. The days pass, the prayer stays the same, and somewhere inside, a question starts to form. Maybe it's not being heard. Maybe the answer is no. But what if the silence isn't absence? What if the answer is already moving in a language you haven't learned to read yet? Al-Ghazali once reflected on this. He noticed something most people miss. The answer doesn't always arrive the way you expect it. Sometimes it's already unfolding. You just can't see it yet. Not because you're blind, but because answers rarely look like what you pictured. There are 7 signs, quiet ones, easy to overlook. But if you've been praying for something and feeling stuck, maybe one of these is already happening in your life. Sign 1, you start feeling strangely calm about it. This is the first shift. You've been anxious for weeks. The thing you want feels urgent, critical, and then one morning, the heaviness lifts a little. Not because you gave up, but because something inside stopped gripping so hard. You might think this is just exhaustion, or maybe you're losing hope. But Al-Ghazali saw it differently. He said the heart knows before the mind does. When you stop wrestling with the outcome, it's often because something deeper is settling into place, like a knot that finally loosens. You're not detached. You still care. But the frantic energy fades, and in that space, there's room for something to move. It's okay to feel this. You've been waiting for permission to stop fighting so hard. Take a second. Has the weight around your prayer changed lately? Even slightly? That shift you're dismissing as nothing might be everything. Sign 2, doors closed that you wanted open. This one feels wrong at first. You asked for a job and it falls through. You wanted a relationship to work, and it ends. You prayed for an opportunity, and it vanishes. It looks like rejection, like the opposite of an answer. And yes, it hurts. The loss is real. The disappointment is real. Don't let anyone tell you it shouldn't ache. But sometimes what you're asking for isn't what you actually need. And the divine knows this before you do. There's a teaching that says, when one door closes, it's not punishment, it's protection. Something else is being prepared, something that fits better. Think of it like this. You're holding an old cup that's cracked, you keep trying to fill it, and it keeps leaking. Eventually, someone takes the cup away, not to leave you thirsty, but to give you one that actually holds water. The closing isn't the answer. It's the clearing. And what comes after the clearing? That's what the next sign reveals. Sign 3. You notice small comforts appearing. You didn't ask for these. They weren't on your list. But they show up anyway. A friend calls exactly when you needed to talk. You find a parking spot on a stressful day. Someone says something kind, and it stays with you all week. These aren't the big answer, but they're not random either. These aren't coincidences. They're breadcrumbs. Evidence that you're still being watched over even when the main prayer feels unanswered. They're direction, not distraction. Al-Ghazali taught that mercy comes in layers. Sometimes the big answer takes time, but along the way, smaller mercies arrive, not to distract you, but to remind you that you're seen. It's like walking a long road at night. You can't see the destination yet, but every few steps, there's a small light, just enough to keep going. You might not connect these moments to your prayer. They seem unrelated, but they're not. They're part of the same conversation. Have you been noticing these? The tiny mercies you almost overlooked? Sign 4. The thing you wanted starts mattering less. This sounds like losing, but it's not. You prayed for something specific, a person, a job, a result. And slowly, your attachment to that exact outcome fades. Not because you stopped caring, but because your vision expanded. You start wanting peace more than the relationship, stability more than the title, clarity more than the yes. This is one of the most overlooked answers. When your heart shifts from "I need this thing" to "I need what's actually good for me," something has already been answered. This isn't loss. This is alignment. It's like asking for a specific address and then realizing you actually just wanted a safe place to rest. Once you see that, any safe place becomes the answer. Your do-all isn't being ignored. It's being refined, and that refining is the response. Sign 5. You feel pulled toward something unexpected. You've been praying about one path, but suddenly a different direction starts tugging at you. A new skill, a different city, an unfamiliar idea. At first it feels like distraction. You might even resist it. This isn't what I asked for. But sometimes the answer comes as redirection, not away from what you need, toward it. Through a route you didn't see coming. There's a moment in everyone's life when this happens. You're facing one door, and a window opens behind you. If you're too focused on the door, you miss it. Al-Ghazali said the heart receives guidance in ways the mind doesn't plan. If you're feeling drawn somewhere new, don't dismiss it too quickly. It might be part of the answer, but here's the sign most people want to skip. Sign 6. Old pain starts surfacing. This is where people leave, but this is where answers get real. This doesn't seem like an answer at all. You asked for relief, for something good, and instead, old memories resurface. Old wounds ache again. But healing rarely moves in a straight line, and sometimes discomfort is the only way through. Sometimes, before you can receive what you're asking for, something inside needs to clear. An old fear, an unprocessed hurt, a belief you've been carrying without realizing. Think of it like cleaning a room to make space for new furniture. The cleaning isn't the furniture, but without it, there's nowhere to put anything. You can't bring something new into a space that's still crowded with what never belonged. When old pain shows up during a season of prayer, it's not punishment, it's preparation. Something is being made ready. You might feel worse before you feel better. That's not a sign the prayer failed. It's a sign something real is moving. Pain isn't the absence of an answer. Sometimes pain is the preparation for it. And when pain arrives right after you've been praying, that's not bad timing. That's precise timing. Sign 7. You keep hearing the same message, different people, different conversations. The same idea keeps appearing, a word, a theme, a gentle nudge. You mention your situation to a friend, and they say something that echoes what another person said last week. You open a book, and a line jumps out. You overhear a stranger talking, and it sounds like it's meant for you. This is one of the clearest signs. When the same truth keeps circling back, it's not random. It's an answer trying to land. Al-Ghazali spoke about this often. He said guidance doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers over and over until you finally hear it. If you've been noticing patterns, repetitions, echoes, pay attention. That's the response. Not in the form you expected, but in the form you're ready to receive. You asked for something, and maybe nothing looks different yet. The circumstances haven't shifted. The outcome hasn't arrived. But if any of these 7 signs are present in your life, the answer is already in motion, not someday. Now, right now, as you're reading this, it's just arriving quietly, in pieces, through changes you didn't recognize as answers. Al-Ghazali taught that the divine responds in the language the heart understands, not always in the language the mind demands. Sometimes the answer is a closing. Sometimes it's a shift. Sometimes it's a clearing. And sometimes the deepest answer is this: you're being held, even when you can't see the outcome, even when the waiting feels endless. The prayer isn't unanswered, it's unfolding. Let that settle for a moment. Maybe the real question isn't, why isn't this happening? Maybe it's, what's already happening that I haven't noticed yet? Because the answer might already be here, subtle, quiet, waiting for you to see it. If one of these signs stood out to you, drop a number in the comments, just 1 through 7. Or if something shifted while watching, you can share that too. Sometimes saying it out loud helps you see it more clearly.